Hello and welcome everyone to our book club. Every single Monday at 7 p.m. UK time, we go live and we share with you some incredible books, transformational books, which, if you apply the information that we share with you, can literally change the course of your life in any area of your life. So, this week and for the next few weeks, every single Monday, we're going to be talking about Psycho-Cybernetics. So the book I've chosen is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. This is a book, a very powerful transformational book where the author explains the psychology behind self-image. If you are someone who really has a desire to shift your life in any area of your life, could be finance, it could be your well-being, your happiness, it could be the relationships. What you have to do, you literally must understand that what you do have to do is to shift your self image. As Maxwell Maltz used to say, you cannot outperform your self image. And this is that one statement I would like you to really think upon during the session and after the session and for the next few days. If you want to change your life in any walk of your life, you cannot outperform your self image. So, a good question would be what my self image is. These sessions will be very short. So, we're going to spend about 20 minutes every Monday to talk about few chapters from this book. I'll give you the summary, I'll give you some explanation behind this summary. My background is I'm a mindset coach and I've been working with people for the past 6-7 years to help them transform their life in the area of finance, in the area of well-being, in the area of confidence, self-fulfillment. And how did I get into doing what I do is because about 6-7 years ago, I was on the same path, on the path of searching for more. And I really believed there was this voice in my head, in my heart, that was telling me there must be something more to life out there. So my search has begun. And since then, I've been working with my mentor very closely. And there was a breakthrough in my life. So now I'm here with you, and I have this privilege to be sharing with you one of the most incredible information. And if you really lean in for the next 20 minutes, if you open your heart to certain beliefs perhaps that you've never heard about before, maybe the things we talk about, we'll be talking about today and for the next few weeks, it might be something completely new, it might be illogical. But what I do encourage you to do is to open your mind, open your heart, and see what might happen. And for those of you who are readers, I highly encourage you to be reading this book. If you haven't read it so far, get a copy. I'm a high believer of a physical book. There's something powerful to hold in your hand, a physical book, and start reading Psycho-Cybernetics. For those of you who have been with us for a while, you know how everything works. So please do say hello in the chat box if you haven't already. For those of you who are just joining us brand new, I wanted to say a very welcome. And I can promise you guys that your life will never be the same if you start joining these book clubs and if you start listening to this transformational information with an open heart and an open mind. If you have any questions during the session or afterwards, please put a comment under this video and I'll always come back to you very shortly. Right, so you cannot outperform your self-image. Today, I will go behind the meaning of self-image. How did Maxwell Maltz came up with this story, with this philosophy, and with this psychological discovery, which was the greatest discovery of his generation. So, just a quick background about Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Almost 100 years ago, he was a plastic surgeon and he was performing surgeries on his patients. So he would have patients come to him and say, well, I don't like the look of my nose. I don't like the scar. Maybe some people have had experienced accidents and the face was completely damaged. And they could feel how this had affected their life, the confidence. So they would come to Dr. Maxwell Maltz and ask them to perform the surgery to make them look better. So that was his job, and he was very good at it. And what happened during certain time when he was performing that surgery, he said that once he did a very good job and most of his work was done perfectly, he said that the patient would change as well. When they came back to him for a checkup, they would come back happy, confident. They would be almost like a completely different person just because the scar was removed or the nose was looking better or they were looking as before the accident. And what that led him to, that led him to a discovery that people have a self-image. However, he said that was not always the case. In many cases, he would perform a perfect surgery, yet the patient would come back to him and nothing would change. It would be same shy, withdrawn, lacking confidence person. So that led him to study the purpose and the cause of confidence and the psychology behind it. So that had led him to a discovery of self-image. What is self-image? So if I've asked you that question right now, what is self-image? What would you think about? What is self-image? So really pay a little bit attention to this and think about it in a more detailed way. What self-image is. So self-image is the way you see yourself. However, when you look in the mirror and you have your physical self, that's the reflection of your physical self. That is also your self-image. However, this is not the real you. The real you is that inner self-image that resides in the treasury of your subconscious mind. And that inner self-image, that second inner self-image, literally controls your life. So the way you see yourself subconsciously, the way you think of yourself, what you are worth, this literally results in your income. This results in the level of relationships you have with other people because you have certain level of relationship with yourself. This also is resulting in the relationship of your health, well-being. It affects every single area of your life because 96% of the time you are controlled by the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, the powerhouse, controls your results and your behavior 96% of the time. So today we're going to go deeper behind the science of cybernetics. So what is cybernetics? Cybernetics is the science behind machines. So that was something that was discovered and introduced during the Second World War. So if you think about of a missile or a rocket or a plane, it has a cybernetic mechanism built in. So when you send the rocket to the moon, you put the coordinates, and that rocket, because it has a built-in cybernetic mechanism, gets to the moon with a perfection, because of the coordinates. It does deviate a lot of the way it deviates. So it's been said that the rocket is taking itself to the moon based on the negative feedback because 90% of the time it's off the course, but because of the cybernetic mechanism built into the rocket, that mechanism detects that deviation and it brings it back on the course. So that's how the cybernetic mechanism works. It has a set goal. Set goal in that example would be the coordinates put into the rocket before it left the Earth. And the cybernetic mechanism job is to see that deviation, detect that deviation, and bring it back on course. And the cybernetic mechanism does an excellent job. It's the same when it comes to a plane. A plane leaves certain city, and once the pilot takes off, it puts it on autopilot. And it's the same mechanism, cybernetic mechanism built into it. So it takes that plane from A to B, so from London to New York, because of the built-in cybernetic mechanism. So now, a very important and fascinating thing happens when it comes to our subconscious mind. Each and one of us has also a built-in cybernetic mechanism called paradigms. So paradigms and cybernetics work on the same principles. Your subconscious mind, it's a goal-orientated mechanism. So your subconscious mind, which is a powerhouse, and when you think about your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, which I'm going to talk about in detail in a couple of minutes, there's a huge difference between your conscious mind and subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is a powerhouse. And in your subconscious mind, there is a goal that you set yourself up. So your subconscious mind is not a mind, is that mechanism. And it works as servo mechanism, and you are the operator because you set the goal to that servo mechanism. Now, a trick here is to understand that mechanism and understand what goal do you set yourself up, because that servo mechanism, being and acting like cybernetics, will always take you to the set goal. Its job is to take you to the set goal. It doesn't care if the goal is negative or positive. It doesn't care. It doesn't know. It doesn't know the difference between bad or good. It just takes you to the set goal. Human beings, so each and one of us, we are goal-oriented mechanism. So what it means is that every single day, unconsciously or consciously, we are going towards that previously set goal. In majority of cases, about 97% of population has no awareness about and understanding about that servo mechanism, has no awareness about what sort of goals they set themselves up. And if someone tries to change it, they usually just work with a conscious mind instead of the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the educated mind, the thinking mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind, the subconscious mind that literally controls your behavior, and your behavior creates your results. So now I'm going to share with you with a very quick drawing so you can understand this better. And with that background, I do believe that you will see that in pictures. So now you can see on the screen a stick person. This stick person represents each and one of you. So just as I previously said, the conscious mind is your educated mind, and the subconscious mind is your emotional mind. Now, even though on this picture it kind of looks like it's half-half, the reality is that your conscious mind, your educated mind, your intellectual mind, the mind that you gather all the knowledge that you study throughout your university, throughout your school, throughout any training you do in your adult life, all of this information is being gathered through your subconscious mind, your intellectual mind. That mind is about 4% of your mind, and the rest is subconscious mind. So the 96% of your mind is your subconscious mind. Now, just because you know something, just because you know how to earn more money, just because you know how to lose some weight, just because you know how to be happier, just because you know how to do how to increase your sales, just because you know how to increase and take your business to the next level because you've studied certain strategy, it doesn't mean you're actually going to do it. That's the difference between the conscious mind, which is your intellectual, educated mind, and your subconscious mind, which is your emotional mind, your servo mechanism. Why is that? Why so many people, majority of people, know how to improve things in their life. They know how to increase the sales. They know they have to make X amount of calls per day. They have to follow up with the prospect. They have to speak to prospects. Everyone who works in sales or service or has their own business, they know what to do. They have to go out and contact people. They've studied probably the best strategies out there, or the company has sent them for the best training. However, just because they learned it, it doesn't mean they'll action it. And this could be frustrated, very frustrating, because the educated mind tells you, I know how to do stuff, yet again, your behavior is not doing it. You're procrastinating, you're resenting certain things. Why this happens? Because of your inner self-image. This is what drives the show. This is what almost exclusively controls your result 96% of the time. From the moment when you wake up till the moment when you go to bed, 96% of that day is controlled by your inner self image. And your inner self image resides in your subconscious mind. That inner self image, 96% of the time, controls your behavior, and that behavior creates your results. And what is your result? Look into a bank account. The money that you receive every single month from your employer or your business, that is your result, and that's controlled by your self-image. Your money doesn't come from your employer. Your money comes through your employer. And it's your self-image that allows you to stay with the money or to say, I'm worth more, so I'm gonna change my job. So that is the self-image. This is the way how you see yourself. This is what I am worth, hence this is what I'm paid. And lots of people stay in those jobs even though they're not fully happy, even though they may think, I want to earn more. But because of the inner self-image, you almost don't see a better way out. You almost see like, I know, I wish I could do better, but I don't know what to do. And the don't know what to do is down to your self-image. Is the way you think on a subconscious level. So now, just to give you a quick example, your self-image is a cybernetic instrument. Your inner self-image resides in your subconscious mind, as we already said it, and that literally almost exclusively controls your action, and your action gives you results. What you have in life today is the result of your inner self-image in the past few months, few years, and perhaps, if unchecked, your entire life. So let's just say a very quick example that perhaps everyone can relate to. Maybe at some point in your life you've gone through this. You see yourself overweight. So you make a decision to go on a diet. So you see yourself overweight, you're emotionally involved with it, and you make a conscious decision to go on a diet. Now, what you start doing is you start following some meal plan, or you start saying to yourself, okay, I know I can't eat sugar, I can't drink alcohol perhaps, I can't eat fats. Whatever you follow, you just do. For the first 2-3 weeks, you forcefully change your behavior. So you say no to certain types of food because you've made a decision, I'm going on a diet to lose weight or to have more energy or to feel better or to whatever the reason is, you made that decision. So you're forcing your behavior not to eat certain foods. And because you do that, obviously for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, you lose some weight. Now, when the person who is overweight goes on a diet and didn't alter the self-image, so you see yourself as a overweight person, you still feel as an overweight person, you look in the mirror and you try to check every inch of your body and you still see yourself as overweight person. If you haven't changed, if you haven't altered that inner self-image, any weight loss will be temporary. Why? Because that cybernetic instrument, that self-image, detects the deviation from a set goal, and your set goal is the image is how you see yourself. This is a set goal. Your set goal is not what you say to yourself, because that happens in your conscious mind. Your conscious mind does not create a goal in your self image, your subconscious does. And the way you do it is through the use of images. How do you really see yourself? That is the set goal you give your cybernetic mechanism. That is the set goal you provide to your self image. And your self image, being a cybernetic instrument, has to take you to that set goal. So the moment you start losing weight, you're deviating from the set goal, because your set goal is being overweight. That's how you see yourself. And the moment when that cybernetic instrument detects the deviation, oh my gosh, I'm losing some weight, it will do everything to bring you back on course. So that's why the diet, that's why the diet never works without altering your self-image. That's why weight loss is only temporary. That's why so many people, I know so many people in my life, I've met them in every walk of my life, that they are on a diet all their lives and they try to lose weight and it always keeps coming back, because you have not altered your self-image. So what happens after 3, 4, 5 weeks, because of the cybernetic instrument, it brings you back on course. What happens? You're back to your old habits. You say to yourself, well, it doesn't work anyway, and I'm just back to eating the old stuff because it doesn't work. And you talk yourself out of it because of the cybernetic instrument. It brings you back on set goal. So that weight loss is always temporary. So what you really have to do in the long term, if you want to change anything in your life, this was just one example of going on a diet, but this could do with the money, with creating better income, with working less, earning more, with doubling your income, quadrupling, multiplying your income. It has nothing to do with your employer. It has nothing to do with economy. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on around you. It's all to do with your inner self-image. And this is this powerful information we're going to be studying today. So I just gave you a quick introduction about self-image and cybernetic mechanism. And what we're going to be doing next, from next week, is we're going to dig into self-image in more detail. Next week, we're going to talk about servomechanism. So your subconscious mechanism. It works like a mechanism, and it's goal-orientated mechanism. You either make it a success mechanism, and I'll explain to you how it happens, or you either make it a failure mechanism. And I also will go in detail on how this happens. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are with us on YouTube and LinkedIn, please make a comment. If you have any questions, I'll get back to you. If you are in our private Facebook group, we have more interactive session here. So there's more questions, and live stream as well gives you that ability to do so. So we will be back next week with more details. And what I would also encourage you to do, to start reading this book if you haven't already. If you've read it in the past, I would encourage you to reread it and be on track with us. So next week, we're going to do the first 4 chapters from this book, and I'll explain the difference between the success mechanism and failure mechanism next week. So thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful week, and think about your self-image. How do you see yourself? And for the next few days, I would like you to think about what is the area in your life that you would like to shift, because this session will help you to do so. So think about it, be ready for the next week, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful